Hello friends, it's Jessica here and welcome back to Jessie K Creates. Today's video I have a very fun, very nostalgic for me project share. Before we get into the card, a little bit of background. I have a craft show coming up August 1st at City Center here in Newport News. It's part of their summer block party series. I've gone to a couple of these. I really enjoy them. And I was preparing for this one, which I will have all the information for it linked down below. But I was looking through my cards just to get a sense of what I have, what cards I might need to make some more of. And I came across this card and realized I don't think I ever shared it. I'm not sure I put it on Instagram. I didn't make a YouTube video on it. I was really certain I had, but I was looking through my footage and I didn't. So I was like, oh, I have to make a project share for this card. And the inspiration behind this card was that a few months ago, I signed up as a vendor for a emo music fest that a local brewery was hosting. And I kind of signed up for it for just personal reasons. Something to know about your girl is that I love a good brewery, and I was in middle and high school in the mid to late 2000s and definitely listened to a lot of emo music. I didn't really dress in the emo way, but I definitely listened to a lot of that music. And so when I saw this happening, I was like, oh, absolutely, sign me up. Definitely want to vend at this event. Even though I knew it probably wasn't going to be my target audience necessarily, I still really wanted to go. And I did. I had such a good time. Honestly, I did better than I was expecting to do at this event, so that was a big plus. But when I signed up for the event, I was like, I need to make at least one card that is for the millennial emo babies like me. And so that's what I did, and I had a really fun time designing this card. While I was making it, I was listening to a lot of the emo music that I used to listen to when I was in high school. So for me, that was a lot of Taking Back Sunday, Brand New, Fall Out Boy, Coheed and Cambria. And it was a little bit of a blast from the past. But it was really fun. I had a really fun time making this card. So again, it is very specific, but definitely let me know if you are a fellow millennial emo. Let me know in the comments, and maybe let me know what were your favorite tunes to listen to back then. Okay, enough yapping though. Let me flip this camera around and let's get into this card. So here is the card I made for Emo Fest. It is this super fun emo unicorn card. And I decided to go ahead and make two versions of this card, one with a hot pink background and one with a neon green background. And I just really wanted these cards to encompass the vibe of the mid-late 2000s kind of emo scene. Now I'm going to walk you through how I put together these cards and the products I used. And I want to start by talking about the background for these cards. So you can see they're black and they have some splatters and marks on them. So I started by taking a piece of black cardstock and I wanted to add some texture to it. So the first thing I did, I looked through my stash and I found this embossing folder. It is Stargazer from Spellbinders. I do believe this is retired, but I just liked the stars. I thought it felt the vibe. So I embossed my backgrounds. And then it was time to add on the splatter. So the first thing I did was add white splatter to these cards. For that, I just took some white acrylic paint. This is what I happen to have in my stash. I watered it down a little and I splattered it all over the backgrounds. I decided I wanted to make some marks on the background. So all I did was take the bottom of my paint bottle, I dipped it into the paint, and then I just made marks on the background, and that's how I got those white circles. Then I let everything dry completely. Once the white ink was dry, I then went in with some neon acrylic paint. These I just picked up at my local craft supply store, neon green and neon pink. Apparently these glow under black light. I don't have a black light, so I didn't test that out, but I just really liked the neon intensity of these colors. So I just splattered those onto the background. And that completed the background for these cards. There's a lot of texture. It definitely has that black and neon kind of vibe that I was going for. So once the backgrounds were made, it was time to move on to the focal point of the card, which was our little emo unicorn. So for this, I used the Sassy Pants Stamps You're a Unicorn die set. I'm not sure if this is still available or not. If it is, I will have it linked down below in the description box, along with everything else I used here. But this just cuts out a really cute unicorn. But of course, I needed to modify this so that it wasn't like a cutesy unicorn. Well, it's still cutesy, but so that it was more of an emo unicorn. One of the ways I went about doing that was by giving the unicorn like a neon mane. And I did have to modify the die a little bit for this. So you'll see here the die cuts out 3 parts for the unicorn's mane, but I wanted to fit more color into the mane. So I doubled 2 parts of the mane so that I could include more colors. So I just kind of layered it more. So I did purple, green, pink, blue, and black. And I think this piece, this green and black are both this piece, and the pink and blue are both this piece. So I just kind of layered it more and played around with it so that I could make the mane as full and colorful as I wanted it to be. I was really happy with how that came out. For all of the different colors in the mane, I just looked through my stash for cardstocks that leaned a little bit more towards the neon. I don't have a lot of neon cardstock, so I kind of had to fake it. I also used some alcohol markers to add a little bit of shading to the mane. I don't know how well that's showing up. I think you can see it best in the purple. And then I also used a glitter pen to add some glitter to the unicorn's mane as well. So that definitely helped my unicorn look a little bit more punk, but I thought the unicorn needs jewelry. Like, if we really want to lean into those vibes, this unicorn needs a choker and some piercings. So the first thing I made was the choker. And to do that, I took some circle dies. These are what I happen to have in my stash. I layered 2 of them together to cut like the outline of a circle. And then that is what I used to create the choker. So you can see it's just a thin little strip of black cardstock. You could also cut that out with some scissors. And I wanted this to be like a studded choker. So for that, I looked through the gems in my stash. And of course, I had some of the Spellbinders Color Essential Gems. These are in the crystal mix. They have this fun kind of holographic feel. And I thought that was perfect. So I used those to make little studs on the unicorn's choker. Now, I also thought the unicorn needed a piercing, and the easiest piercing I thought to give it would be a septum ring. So again, I just took a small circle die from my stash, cut out the outline of the circle, and then I just kind of cut that down to make it look like a piercing. And again, for the little ball of the piercing, I just used one of those crystal mix gems. And I thought that was so much fun. Now, for the unicorn's horn, I used some silver kind of holographic paper that I thought matched the gems I used for the jewelry really well. And I like the way that turned out. Oh, and then for the unicorn's eye, I don't know if you can see that. I cut it out of black cardstock. And then I also went over it with this black glaze gel pen, just to make it stand out a little bit more. I love doing that when I cut out critters or anything like that, is just kind of going over their eyes with that gel pen. I think it really helps it to pop. So the last thing I needed to do for the front of this card was a sentiment. And I knew I was gonna have to make a custom sentiment for this card. It was so unique that I knew I probably wasn't gonna have anything in my stash that just screamed emo. So I decided to go with Roar. Now, if you were in middle school or high school in the mid or late 2000s, then you probably know what Roar XD is, but it was just like an alternate spelling of Roar. It was very like big in internet subculture and in the emo scene. It was just kind of like a cute affectionate way to say like I love you, but it was kind of random, kind of quirky, definitely fit the like emo vibes, you know, I love you and dinosaurs roar. And a lot of times it was accompanied by the little like XD emoticon. And I thought about adding that, but I just didn't have a lot of space. So instead I just cut out the letters RAWR to spell roar. For this, I did use my Cricut Maker. I use it occasionally. I don't use it very often. I use it the most when I'm making something very unique or personalized that I know I'm not going to have a stamp or die in my stash for. So I cut out the letters from black cardstock and I put some glitter on them just using my little glitter pen here. And then I cut a shadow out of that same holographic cardstock that I used for the horn. And then I cut another shadow layer out of just plain white cardstock. And I decided to use those colors because a lot of times I will try to use a color multiple times on my card so that it doesn't feel out of place. So, you know, there's the black of the sentiment, the background, the unicorn's mane, and then some of the accents on the unicorn. For the holographic, it's in the sentiment, it's in the jewelry, it's in the horn. For the white, it's in the sentiment, it's on the unicorn, it's in the background, so that it felt really intentional on the card. So obviously I used roar because it just really fit the vibe of this card, but also I liked this because it's really versatile. This could be for a birthday card. This could be for a thinking of you card. This could really be for anything, especially since the inside is blank. And I love doing cards like that where you can make the card whatever it is you need it to be for whatever occasion you need it to be for. So I thought this just worked out really well. Oh, something else I don't think I mentioned. I did pop everything up on a layer of foam tape. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe kind of. It is all popped up, so there's a little bit of dimension on this card, but just one layer, so it'll still mail just fine. And for the pink version, it is exactly the same, but instead of green splatter on the background, it just has that pink splatter on the background. I'm just in love with how these cards turned out. Now for the inside of the card, I unfortunately don't have any unicorn stamps or anything like that. So I had to get creative and I decided, like I said, I did use alcohol markers to add some shading into the mane. So I just used those same markers and I just scribbled them on a piece of paper to make a rainbow, and I just cut that down and put it on the inside of the card. And I did that for both cards. Again, like I said, so happy with how these turned out. For both cards, for the envelope, I have these neon green envelopes in my stash. I don't use these often. I bought them from Clear Bags. Again, I will have these linked down below. I did not get a sample of these before I purchased this like 50 pack. I just decided to buy it one day. And it's very bright green, so I don't use it super often, but I thought this was the perfect time to use a neon green envelope. Again, I don't have any unicorn stamps or anything like that, so I opted not to decorate this envelope, but I think just the bright green envelope with these cards still looks really, really good. Now, if you are seeing these cards and you are absolutely in love with them and you want one for yourself, or maybe you have a millennial emo in your life who you know would love these cards, they are currently listed on my website. I have 2 of the pink and 2 of the green. I will have it linked down below if you want to go ahead and pick one of those up while they're still available. So those are the cards. If you liked this video, please do me a favor and give it a thumbs up. That helps me so much here on YouTube. It helps other people to find me and join our crafty community here. If you liked the video and want to see all the videos I put out, then be sure to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so that you get notified when I post new videos. And if you know anyone who you think might enjoy this video or just my channel in general, then please go ahead and give this video a share. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video soon. Bye!